Prices for cocoa on the global market have nearly tripled since 2023 as bad weather and disease outbreaks exacerbate supply issues. But farmers in Ivory Coast have found it hard to cash in as the government-run regulator sets the price at about a third of the global level, fueling smuggling of the crop to neighboring countries. For more, Bloomberg's Ondiro Oganga joins us now from Kigali, Rwanda. Ondiro, talk to us about the incentive to smuggle cocoa and how smugglers actually get it out of the Ivory Coast, looking obviously to take advantage of these higher cocoa prices now.
Jumana, smuggling is a dangerous but highly lucrative business. Now, when you're caught, you face up to 10 years in prison or pay a fine of up to $86,000. But on the flip side, if you're not caught, you can make up to $240 a week in comparison to $80, which is a monthly living wage in the country. So that is incentive enough. You also look at the prices of cocoa in the international market. They've nearly tripled. They peaked at $13,000. Now they've settled at $9,000. And in the intro, you mentioned that there are a couple of other factors that are fueling shortage, bad weather, diseases, underinvestment in the industry. And all these are factors that are just leading to price gains in the international market. And as a result, we are seeing prices soar, but farmers are not feeling the gains because most of their beans are bought by government-run institutions. And this is because the government is trying to insulate farmers from volatility in the international market. Now, when the prices are low, the farmers enjoy the cushion. But when the prices are high, they can't help but feel shortchanged, particularly when countries like Togo, Liberia, and Guinea are offering to pay nearly twice what the government is paying in Cote d'Ivoire to buy just a ton or a bag of the beans. And so we are seeing smuggling on the rise, motorbikes and trucks taking alternative routes in the night, trying to smuggle cocoa out of Ivory Coast into neighboring countries like Guinea. And as a result, despite Guinea not making enough investment to boost domestic cocoa production, their shipments have grown by 15%. And while they're reaping the benefits, the pain is being felt across the border.
And Ondiro, how is the smuggling actually impacting the economy both in Ivory Coast, but also just more broadly in the region as well? What sort of an impact is it having?
Jumana, it's unfolding quite fast. In 2023-2024, shipments of cocoa at the port dropped by over 30%. And while there are other factors contributing to this, the government says over 100,000 tons were smuggled out of the country in comparison to 1.7 million tons that they produced in that season. And because cocoa accounts for up to 40% of total export revenue for the government, this could leave a big dent in their national budget and also their development plans in the country. Other people who are also feeling the pain are international buyers. Sourcing has become more difficult because, one, there's shortage, and two, you cannot trace the beans, particularly now that EU regulations are going to come into effect on the 30th of December. If you cannot trace the beans, then you're unable to rule out deforestation and child labor from the value chain, and that means that it will be harder for these beans to be absorbed in the international market. Exporters and traders are also feeling the pinch because when there's a shortage, then they're torn between either breaking the law or paying exorbitant prices at farm gate to be able to get their hands on these coffee beans, and that means cocoa beans rather, and that means that these prices are being passed down to the consumers. A cup of chocolate is higher, and also above chocolate, prices are going higher and higher.